I'll tell this like a friend who was there. Warm and steady. Walking you through the whole 10-day story from the first spark to the last note, what happened, who it touched, and what it left behind. Northern Italy woke up to a different kind of excitement in early March 2026. Athletes arrived with their teams and prosthetics, guides, coaches, and families. Volunteers and local communities readied accessible routes, ramps, and transport. Historic towns and modern arenas prepared to welcome a global festival of adaptive winter sport. The Games opened on March 6, 2026. The opening night was a deliberate mix of pageantry and intimacy, music, lights, and the Paralympic organizers used Italy's cultural stages to tell a story of resilience, ancient stone, and modern accessibility side by side, and the flame was lit to mark 10 days of competition. Events were spread across a few mountain and city clusters, so the games felt both grand and local. Snow-lined slopes hosted alpine and Nordic events, indoor rinks and arenas held ice hockey and curling, city centers and transport hubs were adapted so fans and athletes could move with dignity. The result was a games that felt woven into the landscape, not dropped into it, with small towns and big cities sharing the spotlight. Across 10 days, the program moved through 6 core winter parasports: para-alpine skiing, para-snowboard, para-biathlon, para-cross-country skiing, para-ice hockey, and wheelchair curling. Each day had its own rhythm. Early days, classification checks, practice runs, and the first medals in technical alpine events and short-distance Nordic races. Middle days, speed events, snowboard finals, and dramatic head-to-head races where fractions of seconds decided podiums. Final days, marquee finals, long-distance Nordic races, biathlon showdowns, and the para-ice hockey medal games, followed by a closing celebration. Athletes moved between triumph and heartbreak in a matter of hours. A missed gate in alpine, a perfect run in snowboard, a penalty shot in hockey. Each moment carried the weight of years of training. What people remember most were the personal stories, comebacks and firsts, veteran athletes who returned after injury, and young debutantes who surprised everyone with fearless performances. Partnerships, visually impaired skiers and their guides, prosthetic-equipped racers, and teams whose coordination and trust were as important as speed. Small acts of kindness, volunteers helping athletes navigate historic sites, local families hosting team members, and rival athletes embracing after races. These human moments made the games feel less like a competition and more like a shared human achievement. Sport did not exist in a vacuum. The games unfolded against a backdrop of international tensions and difficult choices. Some delegations and officials made political statements or adjusted participation in response to global events. Organizers and the Paralympic authorities worked to keep the focus on athletes while managing diplomatic sensitivities and ensuring safety for everyone involved. Across disciplines, there were performances that people replayed in their minds. Alpine and snowboard, razor-sharp runs and daring lines that turned downhill courses into theater. Nordic and biathlon endurance and precision, where a single missed shot could rewrite the podium. Para ice hockey, fast, physical, and dramatic matches that drew loud crowds and late-night conversations. Wheelchair curling, strategic, quiet, and tense, a different kind of drama played on ice. Medals were won by athletes who combined technical mastery with mental toughness. Some nations that had invested in parasport programs rose in the medal standings, while smaller delegations celebrated personal bests and historic firsts. On the final night, the games closed with music, speeches, and a sense of completion. The flame was extinguished, medals were celebrated, and athletes began to plan their next chapters: training, advocacy, coaching, or community work. The legacy was both tangible and cultural. Accessibility upgrades to venues and transport that remained for local communities. Increased visibility for parasport, inspiring new athletes and prompting national programs to invest more. Conversations about inclusion, representation, and how sport can bridge divides even when politics intrude. Local organizers and international bodies framed the games as a step forward, not perfect. Badminton in full, a demonstration of what can happen when communities commit to inclusion. Spectators took home memories of incredible athleticism and human warmth. Athletes took home medals, lessons, and renewed purpose. Host communities took home improved infrastructure and a story they could tell for years. And the wider world took home images and conversations that nudged public attitudes about disability in sports. This was a games of contrasts, ancient venues and modern prosthetics, quiet personal triumphs and loud political debates, local hospitality and global attention. Above all, it was a human story. 10 days when athletes with disabilities stood at the center of the world's attention and showed what determination, teamwork, and accessibility can achieve